What's up, guys? We're the Faruqi brothers back with another video. And today for you guys, we're going to be talking about Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, a brand new trailer just dropped. And we're going to give our thoughts on the trailer, what we think the franchise could look like going forward. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's get right into it. Zion, I'm going to start with you on this one. What were your first thoughts on the Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse trailer?
I mean, I thought it was good. They obviously didn't show too much. From you see straight up, you see that Miles obviously it's been a little while because Miles looks older physically. So I don't know how much of a gap that was story wise, but of course we knew from the post credit scene what they were like, some of the hints of what they're going towards. We saw another look at Spider Gwen, obviously from the first movie, and now Spider Miguel Harris, or I forgot his name, Miguel O'Hara from Spider-Man 2099. So obviously we didn't get too much of story-wise what's going on, but I guess it's in the name Across the Spider-Verse. So in the first movie, they all came to him, and now I guess it's going to be him traveling through the different universes. So I think obviously that, just on a basic level, is going to be a lot of fun to see, and it's definitely exciting. And we know what they're capable of. We know how they did the first movie, which is obviously, we all agree, it was amazing. It was one of the best animated movies of all time, and also best superhero movies of all time. So, you know, they're going to just, hopefully, obviously, they're going to just knock it out of the park. It's gonna be like the Dark Knight 2 Batman Begins, and it being a two-parter only makes it that much more exciting because that means they really have like a grand story to tell. So with all those factors, I'm definitely excited. Early first look, so there's not too much story-wise, but everything else was great so far.
Obviously, you know, like with this movie, what caught the attention of so many viewers the first time around, and I remember because when we were at Comic-Con 2018, when we saw the first footage together at Madison Square Garden, when they kind of teased us the first 25 minutes, and when we came out of that, the first thing we thought was like, this visually looks different than any other animated movie we've ever seen. And then when the final project came out, of course, it kind of won the hearts and minds of so many fans. And I think, if I could be mistaken on this one, but on Letterboxd, it's one of the most highest rated movies, period, as 5 stars. So absolutely beloved, but that also means stakes are high for the sequel, and it's very easy to just be like, oh, you lost the magic of the first movie. So I do think there is some, like, it's not a complete home run, but I do think that there is all the steps and all the ingredients are obviously the same. And like I showed a couple of pictures, like the animation style is just as crisp, if not more experimental this time around than it was before. So I do really expect some great things coming out of this one next year. And also, like Zion said, probably one of the most underrated parts of this announcement was that it's a part 1, meaning they're trying to build something big. So Umar, you know, I'm going to give you the same question I gave Zion because it's going to be mostly a reaction. What do you think about this new trailer? And I'll give you a second part question to that. Do you think Spider-Man No Way Home would have happened if Into the Spider-Verse wasn't a success?
So first, my raw reaction is same as Jan. I think the visuals, like Spider-Verse, just has its own visual like take now, where they're gonna try new things with the visuals. Probably every movie that ever comes out. So that's cool. I think that honestly, I think it's I don't think it might not be as good as the first one, because usually that's the case. But it looks pretty promising in the sense of like just the whole, it seems like it's the same vibes. It's the same kind of like, probably going to be the same feel good movie where they have a lot more planned for the story and stuff. And so on that end, I think it'll be cool. Same with keeping with the soundtracks and stuff. Like, they're going to make it similar to the first one. As far as do I think Spider-Man No Way Home would Spider-Man No Way Home happen if Spider-Verse didn't happen first? I'm not sure. I'm not exactly sure about that one, because I think that the multiverse model is something that Marvel probably looked at. It could have been something they looked at even before Spider-Verse, actually. So I'm not sure how to answer that one, but I'd probably say it would probably still be happening, just because, like, if you're making a move, because they had like ideas from before to do it, unless it's information I don't know, because Strauss can easily set me up like that on this in these videos. But yeah, I don't think they're connected. Of course, I think like Spider-Verse's success, like they probably saw it and they were like, wow, like this is something that people are actually into. terms of the whole multiverse aspect. So I'm sure it like gave them, if the light was like yellow, it could have became green, but it's I don't think it's related because live
Yeah,
action is
and
different.
right? And before I go to Samir, just to answer your question, it's funny because when the Spider Verse came out, everyone was like, why didn't they just hire Toby as the actor of old Peter Parker? And Amy Pascal actually confirmed that they had conversations with Toby and they thought about it. The first idea of Spider Verse was to have Toby be in that movie. So I wonder, like in the casting process, when they were trying to think of should we use Toby here, I think they realized if this is a success, why don't we just bring the whole group together? As for do I think the Spider Verse, like, do I think these three Spider Man would have come together if it wasn't for these Spider Man would have come together if it wasn't for Spider Verse? So many spiders, like it's like doing a word juggling words, but I actually think no. They would. I think Spider Verse is a big reason why Toby and Andrew are back right now for No Way Home because it just got people interested in like seeing multiple Spider Man. I not guarantee, but I get a sense that if Spider Verse didn't happen, I think No Way Home would have been much more like Far From Home or Homecoming, just like one villain, jokes, and whatever the case might be. But last but not least, so Samir, you are the resident Spider Man fan, and you are the resident Into the Spider Verse fan because you called it in 2018 the best movie of the year, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. I have to go back to the old podcast to check it out. But I do think you said it was the best of the year. So, what are your thoughts on this trailer? Does it live up to expectations? As he's probably, you're back.
I think there's a ghost moving the door.
Where's Gooby, yo?
You're literally mute.
Oh, yeah, I'm mute. Yeah. Well, yeah. So, while we're waiting for Samir, we'll just.
I think what you say. You're saying that it's not because of Spider Verse. I think it's the success of Spider Verse that really play into them like pushing the decision. That, let's putting multiple Spider in one thing. The audience is dumb. They can differentiate. That's something that has a lot of merit because success with Spider Verse, not just the fact that it existed.
Your point actually facts actually sound because that was a big thing with general audience. Executives think that general audiences don't understand don't understand multiverses, and that they will confuse two characters with each other. That's why it was a big reason why even when Nolan was making this is one of my favorite stories about like how executives think. When Nolan was making the Dark Knight trilogy, they at least stopped the characters that Nolan was using from appearing in even in animation. So they couldn't appear in the Batman animated show that was running the same time. So Ra's al Ghul never showed up. Bane showed up, but they reimagined it. But Ra's didn't show up. Scarecrow didn't show up. And the specific reason why was that they were being kind of introduced in live action. But
yeah, even in Justice League, they're like, oh, you can't use Joker, things like that. So it's like,
yeah. Samir, so for you, the question I was going to ask that, what did you think about this trailer? And do you think it can live up to the kind of success of the first movie, Oscar-winning movie?
I definitely think it can live up to the hype because so far it looks pretty good. I mean, they didn't show much of the story, like Zion said, but the animation and the feel is a lot like the first one. I think making it two parts is great. I think though, I'm gonna throw this out right now, even though it's really early. I think they're eventually gonna connect part two to the MCU kind of because the MCU show that they announced for Spider-Man, like Tom Holland Spider-Man, the logos kind of look similar to the Spider-Verse show, so maybe they're going to connect the animation with and go into that in part two. But I mean, it's really early right now. So far, I think it was great.
That's a pretty big hot take because if you're saying that this movie's connected to the MCU, I think in what if you mean MCU meaning that you think Tom Holland's gonna appear in the second movie, I think that's possible. I think if you're doing a real Spider-Verse movie, make animated renditions of Toby, Tom, and Andrew and have them pop up and interact with Miles, and then, or if you're saying that this exact Miles Morales is gonna get a live action version, so then whenever Miles does show up in the MCU, it's gonna be literally this Miles. So which of the two are you saying?
I was saying the animated thing, but that could happen too. Maybe. I mean, I doubt it. I think that'd be a lot more riskier. And since they're already doing animated for Tom Holland's backstory, they could just throw him in.
What do you think, Omar? You think that's would you like to do that to see a mix of the Sony animated stuff and the MCU?
Yeah, I think that'd be cool. I think I actually think the idea of even doing a live action thing, like if they want to, that'd be kind of, that's a cool idea because you've established. I guess like it's a very unique idea because you've established a character in animation, and then you're using the same actual character, and you're just kind of like, and because they already mess with the animation so much, technically you could kind of like make a
You can
case.
do whatever you want. The only reason I bring this up is because that's what they did with Ahsoka for Star Wars. You know, someone who's purely animated, and then she gets thrown into the live action universe, and she gets casted as someone, and she comes in, and they try to keep her as close as possible to her animated counterpart. But obviously, it's a transition from one medium to another. That's one reason I brought it up. Who knows,
I think on Samir's point, I'm not sure because it depends on which way they want to go. It's kind of like can Peter know who that Norman Osborn is Green Goblin, because does that mess up his story with Harry Osborn in the future? So if he meets a Miles Morales, it kind of messes up his, like, if he has his own arc of meeting like a young Miles and that like a brand new version. If he already has pre-knowledge that, this guy's a spider person, then that kind of basically guides his story and his whole thing. But if they want to introduce Miles naturally in like the live action movies, then I think it'd be better if that he doesn't know of this like Miles Morales person or him being a spider person in another universe, in my opinion. I think it'll just make that a little messy if they want to go the Miles route when they're like, nearing Tom Holland Spider-Man's end.
The idea that me, Umar, and Samir are flirting with, of like them taking the animated Miles Morales and making him live action, in the end, that's not that realistic. But what is more realistic, in my opinion, is that they're going to put Tom Holland, an animated version of Tom Holland, in this two-parter somewhere along the way. And maybe he won't take his mask off, but I think they're going to meet each other, at least for 5 seconds. He's going to jump in, say a couple of lines. It's not hard, and it's going to get the crowd to react. It's just an easy home run for Sony, honestly. But overall, I think all of our reactions are pretty much the same. We're excited for this movie. We all loved the first movie. So it's just about, can this movie continue hitting the bars? It's not like it's never been done before. Toy Story, kind of had a four-peat, back to back good movies, if not great movies. So it's not out of the question that Spider-Verse can also knock 3 movies back to back being amazing. So we'll see how it goes. But the question is, what do you guys think about the Spider-Verse trailer? Are you excited for it? Do you think Tom Holland could show up, or even Toby or Andrew? Let us know in the comments below and join the debate. From myself, from Zayan, from Umar, and from Samir, we're the Faruqi Bros, and we'll see you next time.